Marjorie Taylor Greene has turned out to be one of the more fascinating psychological case studies on the right. She is not towing the line with Kanks issue for issue like I thought she would. She is starting to provide some separation from herself because bizarrely, you guys, I think she is playing a long-term game here. And I've spoken about this at length, that she started talking about this economic populist message. And she stays in step with Trump enough to not get the base riled up with her. But there's some bizarre stuff that happened on her Twitter feed over the weekend. I'm going to kick it to Pumps to share with us because she did a deep dive into it.
Okay, so Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's easier to dismiss her as she's just a nut. So when I originally saw her post this over the weekend, Marjorie Taylor Greene says, "I am not suicidal and one of the happiest, healthiest people you will meet. I have full faith in God, blah, blah. With that said, if something happens to me, I ask you all to find out which foreign government or powerful people would take heinous actions to stop the information from coming out, not only about this issue, but because of the truth that I have been speaking. The people understand what I'm saying." So when I saw this, it's easy to say, okay, yeah, she's on there saying she's not suicidal. But then when you drill down on it, you realize Marjorie Taylor Greene has opposed sending money to Israel and continues to talk about, is this America first? We cannot continue to do this. And she's also been steadfast on releasing the Epstein files. So the tweet directly before the "I'm not suicidal" tweet was that you can put it up, but I'll just summarize it. Basically, she's saying the Epstein rape and pedophile network will not be exposed. And she goes on to say she will not change her signature on the resolution to release these files. And I find it interesting. So in my mind, it says, I'm going to be killed by a foreign government because I'm not towing the line, or I'm going to be killed because I want to release the Epstein files. Is that where your head went, Jennifer?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any question what she's referring to here is Israel, because at her core, she is an anti-Semite. It's not like Marjorie Taylor Greene is so big into human rights and she wants to save Palestinian children and she wants to make Jews safe worldwide and she wants to support trans kids. This is a grifting opportunity for her that she sees as a great economic message in the next campaign cycle to say both parties have been Israel first. And we have been funding, and anybody who sees starving children, who sees a genocide, your lying eyes, you immediately know what you're seeing. It's a smart message. It's a smart political message. And I don't know why the Democrats aren't making it, other than the fact that Hakeem and Schumer are completely beholden by AIPAC and their network of donors. But that's what she's alluding to. I mean, let's just cut to the chase. But interestingly, I saw a clip, I don't know, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, of the Young Turks. And there's that gal, I think her name is like Anna Kasparian or something. You'd recognize her. I mean, she's a blonde, she's a Spitfire. And then Cenk, who is the uncle of Hassan Piker. And they said something similar about like death threats and alluded to the Israeli government doing it. Now, for me, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And, I don't know if this is a larger part of her feeding into the conspiracy theory network that already exists in right-wing media. You have Candace Owens basically saying, literally, you guys, this is what Candace Owens says, that Eric Kirk is like a deep state Israeli agent that worked with Benjamin Netanyahu, and that Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government did this to Charlie Kirk. I don't believe that. This is what a lot of people in the right wing believe. Israel has a right-wing problem and a left-wing problem, which is why Benjamin Netanyahu is adamant to get TikTok and to start brainwashing the American youth in the same way that Fox News brainwashed Gen Xers and boomers. And he sees that you have to fight a war with propaganda in the same way that Vladimir Putin has successfully done here, starting with the 2016 election. So what her play is in this, I don't know. My thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene is she is a grifter. She is a bigot, but she is creating daylight between herself and Donald Trump. She is filling a vacuum that the Democratic Party is failing to fill by stepping up and making the case that why are we funding this and shutting down cancer research for children? Why are we giving money to Argentina and closing rural hospitals? When you have Marjorie Taylor Greene making this, also with all of this conspiracy theory shit, rural voters without the clarity of Democrats speaking with moral clarity about this is why we are not supporting this anymore. Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. He would be arrested in any of our allies' countries. We've spent, however many billions. And guess what? When you get cancer and you want to go to your rural hospital for chemo, it's closed. Tough titties, because the United States government, under both parties, has prioritized Israel. And it is a very easy argument to make, but instead you have these conspiracy theory nuts making it, which really concerns me, because now where is the truth? Where do people go find the truth? And then you've got Israel actively getting their hardcore billionaire Zionist donors taking over the algorithms of TikTok. And he's saying the quiet part out loud, Netanyahu. It's really wild.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even trying to disguise it at all. And it kind of goes back to, he gets on there and he tells these influencers, we need to get this propaganda machine on TikTok going. It's the next big, like a drone was an update to war. This is the next big stages in disinformation. And he's trying to get people to be like, oh, don't believe Gaza's in a genocide. But he's also the same person that went on the news and said how great Donald Trump was. He's such a great leader. He doesn't have any control over him, although it's being wildly reported that he does walk around the Middle East saying has control over him.
Everybody knows that Benjamin Netanyahu and Vladimir Putin have dog collars on Trump and walk him wherever they want him to go. The main thing that you see about Benjamin Netanyahu is he thinks he is a leader in the United States of America right now. Yeah. He is speaking to the American people because he knows the whole Israel has a right to exist argument doesn't happen without American taxpayer money. So in that vacuum, who's filling that void? Who's speaking truth to the American people about this? Is it Marjorie Taylor Greene? Kinda, a little bit. She's speaking it, but it's also wrapped up with her Jewish space lasers and and real anti-Semitism. And the problem is the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and the Benjamin Netanyahus have one thing in common. They are making Jewish people less safe worldwide. So who's going to fill this vacuum to come in and speak with moral clarity that Benjamin Netanyahu needs to be arrested? We are going to cut them off. We're going to quit funding them. The Israeli people need to put somebody serious in charge, and we need to sign on for a two-state solution and recognize Palestine as its own state. But you have this massive vacuum, and nobody on the national stage and the Democratic Party, aside from possibly Bernie Sanders and AOC, are stepping in to make this argument. And so you have the conspiracy theory nuts like Marjorie Taylor Greene filling a vacuum. And you guys, Pumps and I, are from a red state. This argument will hit so hard in flyover states. The Democrats and the Republicans have put Israel first to the tune of however many billions of dollars it is, and you're paying for it. And that's why you don't have nice things.
And in addition to that, you saw at the UN, other countries walked out on Benjamin Netanyahu speaking, and we are one of the 10 countries that are still supporting this genocide. It's disgusting.
Not just supporting it, we're paying for it.
We're paying for it. That's absolutely right. Okay, and then I thought this from the most unfuckable man on the planet, Ted Cruz, his response to Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, I'm not suicidal. And then he says, why do crazy people keep thinking the Jews are trying to kill them? Okay, Ted, you're a senator. What you need to be doing is saying political violence against anyone, whether we have the same opinions or not. But as we know, on the day of the Texas floods, Ted Cruz was going around wanting $250 million for Israel, not for the people of his state. I mean, it's unbelievable how these people and these leaders are so in the pocket with Benjamin Netanyahu. And then additionally, so you have the whole Israel component that Marjorie Taylor Greene's worried about, but she's also worried about the Epstein files because, as we know, last week we had a new election in a House race in Arizona where a candidate was elected, and she has said as part of her campaign, I'm going to sign on the discharge petition for the release of the Epstein files. And guess what? Put this up from Representative Ro Khanna. When Matt Gaetz and Mike Waltz left Congress, Republicans swore in their replacements during a pro forma session, if they don't do the same at Adelta for Arizona on Tuesday, they'll be breaking precedent. The only reason is to block the release of the Epstein files. And I'll give you 3 guesses on who is in charge and making the determination of when to swear in this new congressperson.
Well, of course, it's Moses.
Moses doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to release the Epstein files. And what's interesting about all of this, and real briefly. So over the weekend, the Oversight Committee released documents from the Epstein estate. And we see Elon Musk had a possible trip to Epstein Island. Peter Thiel, who now controls all of our private data, he's in the Epstein files, as is Steve Bannon. And I completely believe that Donald Trump is in the big middle of the Epstein files. But I also think it encompasses a whole wide range of Republican donors and strategists. And we're in such a time that covering up for this corruption would have a U.S. congressperson worried about her safety. I mean, this thing.
Here's the deal. I want to say that Marjorie Taylor Greene worried about her safety is also, first and foremost, she is feeding into the conspiracy theories on the right that are rooted in anti-Semitism. That's why this issue is so blurry, because she's more manipulative than I ever gave her credit for. And she is doing that to start to capture the part of the right that is not buying the Charlie Kirk assassination plot line. They're not buying that. They're also still mad about the release of the Epstein files because that same group of people are very anti-Semitic. And they think that Epstein was Mossad and that he had all of these people honeypotted and was blackmailing them. So in my opinion, she's saying that about I'm not suicidal. I don't think she thinks Israel's going to kill her. I think she's playing into the conspiracy theory base of the party. I think she's just a lot more manipulative, and she knows how to rile up, and she's peeling off a part of the MAGA base because Kanks is going to have a really hard time keeping it together with all of this stuff going on. Andy's old. The whole strongman idea is you have to exude strength and confidence, and all he exudes is dementia and dragging his foot and bruised hands. So you're starting to see the fracturing, and so she is positioning herself bizarrely. I never thought she had this in her, but she's positioning herself that way. So that's why she's saying that, because she's playing into that conspiracy theory base. The Jews are going to come kill me.
Yeah, it's an interesting time to be an American because, as you said, Marjorie Taylor Greene seems to be one of the only leaders. It's certainly not Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer that are saying we've got to separate from Israel, which is what the Democratic base wants. But I digress. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we will be back with more news.